Hi teens, thanks for checking in with us today at the library. Today's teen craft is a magical clay gnome, and I'm going to kind of show you the basic steps as to how you guys can make your very own clay gnome. Most importantly, this is how I designed mine, but I want you to feel free to do yours kind of any different way. I mean, it really shouldn't look exactly like this, just have fun with it. So the first thing that you'll want to do is come to the library, and in the lobby you can pick up your teen craft bag. So let's see what's inside. You'll have some directions for the different steps that you'll take to make your gnome. A little piece of parchment paper or wax paper because you really want to cover your surface for this one. You'll also find, of course, your ball of clay. This is an air dry clay, so you do not need to bake it. I don't want you to bake it. You'll make your gnome, let it sit for 24 hours to dry, and then you can add paint after that if you like. And then a couple of little tools in here that might come in handy. You'll find a little plastic knife, a wooden craft stick, and a couple toothpicks. In addition to that, I found that it helped a lot to have just a little dish of water. So, you know, you might want to kind of grab a little dish of water that you'll use to kind of smooth out the edges of your clay. And I also found it helpful to have a paper clip. I just kind of unbent this paper clip, and this kind of was helpful too. But other than that, everything else will be in your bag. So let's go ahead and get started. What you'll want to do first is to take your clay and put it out on that parchment paper. And we're going to start by making like a basic cone shape. So just kind of roll it out here a little bit, and you'll want the base to be flat, kind of flat, so it can sit on a surface. And then you're going to mold your clay, again, kind of lifting up so that it's into a basic cone shape. Okay? And from there, you're going to remember that there's three main parts to your troll. The body, which really is just the beard, you know, on the front, the nose, and then his hood. So, the nose is a separate piece of clay, but the hood and the body are all one piece. So just kind of start by giving that a basic shape. With his hood, it can kind of stand straight up in the air if you want, or it can kind of curve over, curve over to the side. This is where you're going to kind of give your gnome some personality and make it, you know, really just how you want. So you're just going to kind of give that basic shape. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in the video making it perfect. I just want to give you an idea. You will spend more time getting it right, you know, at home on your own. But just kind of giving it more or less a shape that's kind of similar to this, okay? The next thing that you're going to do is take a small piece of clay and roll it into a ball. I'm going to rob a little bit of clay from there and just roll this into a ball shape. This will be your nose of your gnome. And you don't want to get it too big, but you want it to be pretty substantial, like this guy, because that is a key characteristic of the gnome. And you're just going to roll that and get it nice and smooth and in a really almost perfect ball shape. Now, you may be wondering, how do I get the nose onto, you know, the clay face of the gnome? And I found that the best way to do it is to take one of your toothpicks, snap it in half. Actually, half is a little bit too big, maybe a third, and kind of break it. And you're going to insert one end of the toothpick into the face of the gnome and the other end of the toothpick, and just stick the nose right on like that. That's going to hold the best. I tried several different options, scoring it, wetting it, pressing it, all of that. But actually I think this kind of worked well. So use your toothpick there to secure the nose to the face of your gnome. Okay. The next thing you're going to do, and again I'm just going to rob a little of this clay, is to roll like a snake shape. Okay? So you're going to roll your clay nice and thin and long and even. You don't want one end to be thicker than the other. You want it to be pretty much the same diameter from one end to the other. And just kind of roll that out. Again, getting it nice and smooth and even and pressing it where you need it to be thinner. Now, what do you think this is going to be? This is going to be the hood, the edge of the hood for your gnome, okay? So, as you have kind of a basic shape here, you'll now take that snake and just kind of, this is a little thick, but kind of drape it just like that. So there you have his nose on there, and right above the nose, that snake kind of shape. And that will be the edge of his hood, the front of the hood. Okay, so something like that. All right? Okay. At this stage, you're probably going to want to trim off any excess edges of this snake or rope, just to make sure it's nice and level and even. You can just pinch that off, kind of tuck it down like that, and then with your finger and some water, dip your finger into the water, and you're going to start smoothing and pressing out the seams and any bad spots, any rough spots, any bumps or bulges, and really get that nice and smooth. This should take you a while. If you rush through this, you probably haven't got it all perfectly smooth. So dip your finger, and you're going to start, we'll look at the back of the gnome here, and just press this rope snake shape right into the rest of the hood so that it's kind of seamlessly attached to the gnome, and you'll press that all the way around the whole rope or snake, and that's really going to hold it on. Dip your finger in some more water, and now really smooth it very nicely so that you see no seam. Okay, get it really nice and attached and all smoothed out. At this time, also take your finger in some water and do the whole rest of your gnome. Get it smoothed out like butter, just as soft and smooth so that you don't see bumps or cracks or seams. You want to get it all very, very smoothed out, almost perfect. And that way, no pieces are going to fall off of your gnome. Everything's going to be nice and tight, secure, and smooth. So that's really what you're looking for there with that. Okay. Now, when you've gotten this far, and again, mine is not as smoothed out as it should be. This is just to give you a basic idea. But now we're going to move on to his beard. Using your toothpick or the end of the paper clip, and quite frankly, I thought the end of the paper clip worked a little bit better, but you're going to start making thin indentations from the nose down that will kind of mimic the hairs in a beard, okay? Now, as you do this, and as you pull down to make those lines, it's going to grab some clay. Push that off of there, keep your edge clean, reinsert it, drag down again, and you'll just do that process over and over as much as you want to kind of distinguish the hair in his beard. But remember, this is going to grab clay as you pull down. It's going to make a little weird ball there, and you'll need to kind of clean that up, eliminate the excess clay, and then go for another line going down. Just do a whole bunch of those. Again, this is my finished product, so just do a whole bunch of those lines. When making the gnome, for me, this part took the longest, was making those hairs, and it was a little tricky. But you'll do fine with it. Just keep your lines nice and neat. Brush it off, clean it off. You could even take a paintbrush, if you have one, and kind of brush through there, just to get like the crumbs, just to kind of get the crumbs off. Okay, so that's that part of it. Take your time, enjoy it. Don't rush. Just have fun with the feel of the clay and the texture that you're working with. Give it some attention. Don't rush through it, and I guarantee if you do that, you're going to have a really awesome looking gnome. So, okay, so we've done the hairs of the beard, and now again we're going to take maybe the plastic knife at this point, or your clay or your craft stick, and you're going to smooth all around his hood where we have smoothed before, but we're really going to press that on there like that. And that's going to really attach that rope to the hood again, smooth it out, and if you want, you can even give it some little distinguishing lines in there to kind of also make it look like it is a cap that he has on, or a hood that he has on. So just kind of finish out those edges on that back side. Okay, so let's see. Next, you're going to have almost all of your parts there attached. The lines in your beard will be attached, your nose, your hood, all of that. And I kind of wanted to give his hood some kind of a decoration. So I thought about making a little heart shape, or a star, or a flower, but any kind of really cool little shape that you want to add on to his hood is a fun thing you can do. And what you would do is just take a small piece of clay. I'm going to rob some from here again. And just kind of press this out flat, almost like you're going to do a cookie dough. So get that nice and flattened out, very thin. Think in your mind, what kind of shape do you want him to have? So you'll have a piece of clay rolled out pretty flat, like, again, kind of like a cookie dough. And then using, let's see, I think maybe a toothpick, you're going to kind of create your shape. So if star, heart, gosh, lightning bolt, like whatever you want, it doesn't even matter. I use the heart. It wasn't too hard of a shape. But you're just going to kind of not trace, but you're just going to kind of drag that through, kind of making your shape. And remove the excess, and then you'll have your shape, and it'll be really bad, edges. So you'll need to take your fingers, tighten up those edges, make it as crisp as you can. Take some time with that too, because you want this shape to be really awesome. So just kind of clean up the edges, get it nice and almost as perfect as you can. Then just take it, and if you press it lightly to the hood, it'll stick right on there. So just kind of press that. Right, I know it's hard to see because it's not painted, but just kind of press that onto the hood, and you've got like kind of a special, unique shape or a symbol on the hood. So that's it. Now take one last look and go through your whole thing, your whole gnome, cleaning up those beard hairs, smoothing out the clay. Water will be your best friend. It will definitely help give it a super, super smooth surface that's going to ultimately be much easier to paint. Get all of your edges looking exactly how you want. Make sure that nose is on there secure. And then you're going to leave him alone for 24 hours. Just let him sit and dry for 24 hours. And then, really fun part, is painting. Now, I was not able in the craft bag to actually supply you with paints, but if you bring your gnome to the library and let us know that you would like to paint your gnome, we can let you borrow some of our paints. You can actually just go into a quiet area and then just sit and paint. We've got tons of paint here. I just wasn't able to actually package them up into craft bags, and also not knowing what colors you would want to use. So you can definitely paint them if you've got paints at home. I suggest acrylic paints. Or if you don't have paints at home, just bring your gnome into the library. So what I did was painted the beard white. I wanted that to be white. I used a small paintbrush, dipped it in the paint, and just kind of went over 2 coats to give him that white beard. Of course, you could do yours any color. For the nose, I really wanted a flesh color, so I kind of mixed some colors to get the right shade I was looking for, and then just paint that. I decided that I liked this kind of blue shade for his hood, so just kind of, again, don't miss any areas, paint all over the hood area. Be very careful, of course, when you go around his face or his beard. A second coat again. I felt like it definitely needed 2 coats. And then I painted the little heart-shaped purple. But again, you can do whatever colors. Another variation would be to maybe take some paint and perhaps you want to do little bows or polka dots or stripes on his hood. You could really have a lot of fun with your paint and your paint colors, you know, with this hood. So you could do that if you wanted to as well. I had a great time. I loved making the gnome. It definitely took an hour for sure to construct him, and then maybe, you know, another 30 minutes to paint. All I would say is don't rush. Really take your time. This project, who knows what he's going to turn out like. The main reason that we're doing this is just for the enjoyment of it and to have fun. See how you like working with clay. See what you can create. If you don't want to make a gnome at all, you don't have to. Do whatever you want to do. But this is kind of what I came up with. And of course, I think that being a gnome, I'm hoping that this guy will bring me good luck in the new year. So have fun, you guys. Make your gnome, make your character, bring it into the library. It will definitely help you with some paints, and just enjoy it. Okay, so thanks so much for joining me today, and you can pick up your craft bag at the library starting today. All right, so we'll see you guys next time. Happy New Year.